Oh. I didn't say anyone in particular. I just I'm looking at everybody over there. But it's just good to see everyone.
Good to be seen.
Alhamdulillah.
You have to format the disc first.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, but I appreciate your help.
Yeah.
The chance is that no.
Then at the end, you have to format.
You have to when you push the button, it asks you want to find somebody.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah. So then that closes it up.
So we be ready to go in a few.
Son,
Are we ready?
That's always good.
Okay. Again, Assalamu alaikum. With Allah's name, the merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer, I bear witness only that there is no God but the one God, Allah, and I bear witness only that Muhammad is his messenger and the seal of the prophets. I want to thank the Mosque Cares for allowing me to address you again here on this first Sunday. And for those who don't know who I am, my name is Abdul Rashid Akbar. This class is starting and growing a successful business. And what I've tried to do during the series of classes is to talk about different aspects of business. Today's presentation is going to be centered around the smartphone. I don't know how many of you use yours in your business, or use a smartphone at all, but definitely use it in business. I do. I use it personally and in business. And I can tell you, the smartphone I use is the iPhone. All right. Now, I'm not saying anything about anybody else's phone. If you don't use an iPhone, you don't use it, But if you use a smartphone that has apps on it or whatever, my subject that I'm going to be talking about today also applies to you. And I'm going to be talking about encryption. I don't know if you are up on the news, but I'm almost certain many of you have heard about the issue around the iPhone, and the FBI wanted to break into a particular iPhone that was used by the San Bernardino terrorists, right?
Alleged.
All right. I have some tape, an audio. I had a video I wanted to play, but I couldn't get the technology to play it like I wanted to. But the audio, I believe I can play for of one individual, Representative Darrell Issa. I don't know how many of you may have heard of Darrell Issa, but he's the congressman from California. All right, and he chairs a committee in the Congress. He's a Republican. He chairs a committee, and the director of the FBI came before his committee to talk about this whole issue, and he was giving an interview to a journalist on NPR dealing with it. So I want to play that audio for you, and then make some more comments. But before I do that, I'll try to come. There's a lot of articles, but there's one I think is just very important to bring to your attention. I'm going to read from it. It's out of the Tribune, and the title of the article is "Shooter's Employer Didn't Install Key Phone Feature." All right, and I'm going to quote from the article: "FBI would have been able to unlock the California killer's iPhone." All right, this wasn't the California killer's phone. It was the company that he was working for his phone, and they had given it to him as part of his job. Okay, so the county government that owned the iPhone in a high-profile legal battle between Apple and the Justice Department paid for but never installed a feature that would have allowed the FBI to easily and immediately unlock the phone as part of the terrorism investigation into the shootings that killed 14 people in San Bernardino, California. How many of y'all knew that? How many people knew, though, that they had a feature that they could have installed on it and didn't have to even worry about going to the FBI, right? Most of you didn't know that, right? Well, the media doesn't tell you everything. So let me quote a couple other things here. If the technology known as mobile device management, or MDM, had been installed, San Bernardino officials would have been able to remotely unlock the iPhone for the FBI without the theatrics of a court battle that is now pitting digital privacy rights against national security concerns. The service costs $4 a month per phone. Now I'm gonna stop right there. With that part of it. Even if it's not an employer, in this case, it was the employer's phone. It wasn't the individual's phone. It was an iPhone C, about 5C. For those who are, I know since speaking kind of a little technical term now, I have an iPhone 6. Yes, sir.
Just along that vein, after 9/11, they'd already had mandated that they put that special chip in the phones.
Mm-hmm.
My employer, they contacted all the employees,
Mm-hmm.
and what they did, they told all the technicians, I'm one of the technicians, to come on in. The federal government said that they had to put this particular thing into the computers
right.
and the phone.
Okay.
And after it was all over, I realized that whenever we came up with new computers every 2 years, it always took about an hour for my computer to be taken care of.
Right, because it had to have that chip or whatever be put into
Right,
it.
but
Okay.
everybody else, they always had those. But they brought us all in together like it was, everybody had it done.
Right,
But,
right. Okay, but that's good to know. That's going to help you when I play this audio. The FBI has put it out as though it's them against Apple, and that is a business decision by Apple. It goes way beyond that. It goes way beyond that. And let me just say to all of you, whether you have an iPhone or Android phone, let me just say this to you. If you have a smartphone, all right, encryption affects you just like it affects me. What that means is, the tape I was going to play would have explained it, but let me just tell you, anytime you use your phone, and if you use your phone to do any banking, or if you just use the phone to check your email, it's encrypted, so that no one else can come in just attach and look at what you're doing on your phone. All right. Now the unique thing about the iPhones is, if you don't know the password, that means if I lose my phone and you pick it up and you try to get into the phone, after the 10th time that you try to get it and you don't have it, it wipes the phone clean. Just like that, it wipes it clean. All right. That's what the FBI is concerned about. What they did was they tried to get into the phone. Okay. And whatever they tried didn't work.
Okay.
But there was a number of tries. See, they know they're getting down to the 10th one, right? Now all of a sudden, it's a problem, all right, with Apple. All right. And let me say this to you. There's no, now one thing is, and Apple tells you that when you buy these phones, if you forget your password, and you continue to try to get into it, after the 10th time, it's going to wipe the phone out. And you just have to reset the phone. With a new password and everything, you have to reset it. That's why they tell you to back your phone up. Bag it up to the cloud, or bag it up to a computer, bag it up. All right. They don't have a way to get into your phone. So if you forget the password, you own your own.
Right.
All right. They tell you that when you buy these. Can you imagine how many of these have been sold? They sell them all over the world. Not just here in America. All over the world. All right. Do you know how many people use their phones for all kind of things? Do you have an idea? Just think about this. Our government wants they want a back door. That's what they call it. They want a back door. They want a way to come into the phone without you knowing about them coming into the phone, right? They want that way to come into it. What Apple said is, we don't even have the software to do that. We don't even have the software to do that. We haven't even made the software. In fact, they intentionally didn't make the software to be able to go into people's phones. And they have no software that can go into just one phone. All right, let me just tell you that. Now, I don't work for nobody else. I can tell you this. They haven't, and if they write software, it will never be for one phone. Okay? Now let me play this audio, because this exchange between this journalist and Representative Issa. Now, this is one guy. I don't particularly like him. That's personally. Because he's the one who had those hearings dealing with Hillary Clinton's emails. And they would just come, or Benghazi, they just come up with any kind of thing. It was really political. All right? Any kind of thing they could try to come up with. They couldn't come up with anything, but he was still having the hearings. All right. But on this particular exchange, he's right on it. He's right on it. So,
Oh, yeah, and he disrespected Cummings.
but sure.
He disrespected Elijah Cummings.
Elijah Cummings, right.
If y'all
Because,
know-
Elijah Cummings is what they call the ranking member.
Right.
He's a ranking member, but the Republicans office, so ICE is the chairman because he's a chairman. But you're right, he did.
Turned off the mic.
Turned off the mic. All right. So that's why I say there's some things I don't particularly like about him, but when I heard this exchange, and he's right on it, because his history, and they'll tell you what this history is. So let you listen to
I got
the
a
audio.
quick question.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned software, the software to go in the cell phone.
Yes.
They had to make one for each individual phone that you say they sell them all over the world.
No, that's the key thing. They don't make it. They make the same software for the same iPhone all over the world.
Yeah.
But if they were to try to get into one, what the government wants them to do is to develop a software so that they could go in and enter my phone. Say it was my phone, sitting out somewhere. It's locked. They can't get into it. They've tried to get into it for 9 times. If they get into it another time, it's going to wipe it clean. And they're trying to get the information in this phone before it wipes. So they want Apple to write a software program to be able to do that. But you can't write one to do for just one phone. You understand what I'm saying? This is the key thing. If they write it, it's not going to be for one phone. And let me tell you, you already know that no one can keep any secrets, and then the government can't keep secrets. Apple couldn't keep the secret. Look, if they write the software, somebody is going to get it because it's so valuable. They'll pay whatever you want for it, and it won't be able to bake into just one phone. It'll be able to bake into any phone, any iPhone, anyone. Okay. You got somewhat of a picture of what we're talking about?
Yeah.
This is what we're talking about. All right. But of course, the FBI want to say we're trying to get at these terrorists, and it's just for one phone. All right. I'll get back to you after. Let me listen to this audio.
What-
Okay.
The thing is, the act of terror had already been done.
Oh, let me get back to this. It's so much more to this than it meets the eye. So much more. I want you to hear this audio though.
More tense moments in Washington this week over what to do with an iPhone. That phone belongs to one of the attackers in San Bernardino, California. The government wants Apple to create software to decrypt it. Apple has defied a judge's order to do that. This week, Darrell Issa, a California congressman known for grilling government officials, took FBI Director James Comey to task over this. He said the government is demanding something from Apple that could jeopardize the privacy of anyone with an iPhone.
You're expecting somebody to obey an order to do something they don't want to do, and you haven't even figured out whether you could do it yourself. You've just told us, well, we can't do it, but you didn't ask for the source code, and you didn't ask the questions I asked here today, and I'm just a guy that didn't like...
Issa is a guy who knows about technology. The Republican congressman made his fortune in electronic security, creating car alarms. His congressional office is actually decorated with patents he has won for his electronic inventions. I asked him why he was so tough on the FBI director.
I wouldn't say I was tough. What I would say is that the FBI director came unprepared.
Unprepared because in Issa's mind, the FBI couldn't answer a simple question: why they didn't consider other ways to break into this iPhone, short of forcing Apple to write new software that could, in Issa's mind, be used by hackers, maybe even other countries, to break into other phones. Now, Issa thinks there were other options, like working with Apple to copy the data on the phone belonging to the attacker. This, Issa says, would have allowed government investigators to try hundreds and hundreds of passwords, likely eventually being able to break in.
If you make 2,000 copies, you essentially get 2,000 tries to find the combination.
And this is really important, Issa says, because it would have still involved unlocking a single phone and not forcing Apple to create software that could unlock all phones. Issa thinks the FBI could have asked Apple for help with this.
Certainly, Apple could have been asked to help them make copies, and I'm not sure that Apple would have objected to it. Apple was objecting not to